Well, mom's idea might have worked great on a bunch of 4 years olds, but she's going to have to think of something better if she wants me and Roderick to get along. The truth is, Roderick can pretty much trust me any way he wants, because he knows there's nothing I can do about it. See, Roderick is the only one who knows about these really embarrassing things that happened to me over the summer, and he's been holding it over my head ever since. So if I ever tell him for anything, he'll spill my secrets to the whole world. I just wish I had some dirt on him to even things out. I do know one embarrassing thing about Roderick, but I don't think it's gonna do me any good. When Roderick was a sophomore, he was sick the day they did school photos. So mom told dad to mail in Roderick's freshman picture for school to use in the yearbook. Don't ask me how that screwed this up, but he sent in Roderick's second grade picture, and believe it or not, it actually got printed. Unfortunately, Roderick was smart enough to rip that page of his yearbook. So if I'm never gonna find something to against him, I guess I have to keep digging. Wednesday. Ever since mom assigned this to me and Roderick, that's been going down to the furnace room after dinner to walk to this miniature Civil War battlefield of his. Dad spends at least 3 hours at night down there working on that thing. I think Dad will be happy to spend the whole weekend working on his battlefield, but Mom has another plans for him. Mom likes to rent these romantic comedies and she makes Dad watch them with her. But I know Dad is just waiting for the first chance to break away and go back down to the basement. Whenever that can be done in the furnace room, he makes sure us kids keep away from it. Dad won't let me or Roderick go near his battlefield because he thinks we're gonna mess something up. And earlier today, I overheard Dad say something to Manny to make sure he doesn't go poking around back there either. I think I just heard some grunting noise coming from the furnace room, he said. Saturday, Rowley came over to my house today. Dad doesn't like it when Rowley comes over because Dad always say Rowley is accident prone. I think it's because this one time Rowley was eating dinner here and dropped a plate and broke it. So now Dad has the idea that Rowley is going to ruin his whole Civil War battlefield in one clumsy move. Whenever Rowley comes over to my house these days, he gets the same greeting. Rowley's dad doesn't like me either. That's why I don't go over to his house much anymore. The last time I spent a night at Rowley's, we watched this movie where some kids taught themselves a secret language that no grown-up could understand. Me and Rowley thought that was pretty cool, and we tried to figure out how to talk in the same language the kids were using in the movie, but we couldn't really get the hanging of it. So we made our own secret language that we tried out of dinner. But Rollides must have cracked our code because I end up getting sent home before the dessert. And I haven't been invited to spend the night at Rollies ever since. When Rollies came over to my house today, he brought a bunch of victims off from his trip with him. He said that the best part of this vacation was when they went on river safari and he showed up me this blurry picture of birds and stuff. Now I've been to the water a bunch of times, and they have this river rapids right where they have this awesome robots animal like gorillas and dinosaurs. If you ask me, Rowley parents should have just saved their money and taken him there instead. But of course, Rowley didn't want to hear out about my experience. So he just gathered up his picture and went back home. Tonight after dinner, my mom made Dad watch one of the movies he read, but Dad really want to work on his Civil War battlefield. When Mom got up to the bathroom, Dad stuffed a bunch of pillow under the blanket on his side of the bed to make it look like he was asleep. Mom didn't find out about Dad's decoy until after the movie was over. She made Dad come to bed even though it was only 8:30. And how many sleeps in Mom and Dad bed? Because he was afraid of the monster that lived in the furnace room today. I thought I was done hearing about Rowley's trip, but I was wrong. Yesterday, our session student teacher asked Rowley to tell the class all about his vacation, and today he came to school wearing his ridiculous costume. But what was even worse was when some girl came up to Rowley at lunch and started kissing his butt. But then I realized maybe that was such a bad thing after all. So I started parading Rowley around the cafeteria because after all he is my best friend. Saturday, Dad has been taking to me to a mall every Saturday for the past few weeks. At first, I thought it was because he wanted to spend more time with me. But then I realized he's just making sure he's out of the house for Roderick band practice, which I can totally understand. Roderick and his heavy metal band practice in the basement on weekends. The lead singer of the band is this guy named Bill Walter and me, and then bumped into Bill on the way on there today. Bill doesn't have a job and he still lives with his parents, even though she is 35 years old. I'm pretty sure that worst is that Roderick is going to see Bill as some kind of role model, and that Roderick won't follow in Bill's footsteps. So whenever that see Bill, it just put him in a bad mood for the rest of the day. The reason Roderick invited Bill to be in his band was because Bill got voted most likely to be a rock star when he was in high school. That hasn't rocked really well for Bill yet, and I think I heard anyway him in prison. Anyway, me and Dad went to formal to few hours a day, but when he got back, Roderick band practice was over yet. You could hear the guitars and drums from a block away, and there were a bunch of random teenagers hanging out in our driveway. I guess they must have heard the music coming out of the basement and got drawn to it, sort of like how monks get drawn to the light. When Dad saw all those teenagers in the driveway, he totally freaked out. Dad ran inside to call the cops, but Mom stopped him before he could dial 911. Mom said those teenagers weren't doing any harm, and they were just appreciating Roderick's music. But I don't even know how she could say that with a straight face, and if you could hear Roderick's hand, you could know what I mean. Dad couldn't relax with all those teenagers out in our driveway. So he went upstairs and got his boombox. Then he put in a classical music CD and let it play, and you would not believe how quickly the driveway cleared out after that. Dad was pretty proud of himself for thinking of that one, but Mom accused him of getting rid of Roderick fans on purpose. Today, on the car ride to the crunch, I was making face at Manny, trying to get him to laugh. I made this one face that made Manny laugh so hard that apple juice came out of this noise. But the mom says you could have killed him. Well, once put that through in Manny's head, it was over. See, this is reason I keep my distance from Manny. Every time I have the little fun with him, I end up getting it. I remember when I was younger and my mom and told me I was getting a little better. I was really excited. After all years of getting pushed around by Roderick, I was really ready to move up on the nose of the temple. But mom and dad has always been so protective of Manny, then they won't let me lay off ear on him, even if he totally deserves it. Like the other day, I plugged in my video game system and it won't start. I opened it up and found out that Manny has stuck a chocolate chip cookie in the disk drive. And of course, many use the same way always. You look when pregnant stuff. I really want to leave money, but I go. Mom said she would have a talk with Manny, and they went downstairs. A half hour later, they came back off to my room, and Manny was holding something in his hand. It was a ball of tinfoil with a bunch of toothpicks on the of it. Don't ask me how they're supposed to make out for my week of the game. I went to throw the splitting away, but my mom won't ever let me do that. The first chance I get that the thing the trash because mark my words, if I don't get rid of it, I'm gonna end up sitting on it. Even though Manny drive me totally hard, there is one reason I like having him around. Ever since Manny started liking, Roderick has stopped me sell chocolate bars for